Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today we have a review that is long overdue. Now, ever since I first started posting teasers about this watch on my Instagram and in various Facebook groups, people have been kind of pining for me to do a review for this one, and unfortunately I got scooped by tons of other reviewers who've already reviewed this piece, but I wanted to make sure to do a full review because I think this is just an outstanding piece. And of course, I wish I would have got this done before the new year, but hey, better late than never. So this is, of course, a Seiko. Seiko was founded back in 1881. They're Japanese in origin, and now they have factories throughout Asia. They cover all market segments from entry level to all the way up to high end. A little bit about this type of watch. I consider this an everyday watch. And then when you're looking for an everyday watch, some key common characteristics and design language would be something that's a versatile blend of sporty and dressy attributes. This particular model is the JDM Presage SARX055. Now JDM, for those of you that don't know, is Japanese domestic market. So this is made for the Japanese domestic market in Japan, and it is just about outstanding. You know, people consider this kind of the Baby Grand Seiko SBGA011 because it is a titanium watch of similar design. And, you know, they ain't kidding. This thing is the most Grand Seiko, Baby Grand Seiko yet. I mean, this is just has so much to offer. Such a high level of finishing. I'm just extremely impressed with this piece. Now, along with that impressive build and spec list comes an impressive price. This is $1,000 watch, guys. I mean, it's $1,000 after you're getting discounts and you know you're paying from an importer like I did from Seiya Japan to send it over to you in the States. Now, the size of this case, it's going to be right under 41 millimeters at 40.8 millimeters in diameter. It's 11 millimeters high. It has a 46 millimeter lug to lug, and it is made out of titanium. So this thing is just really nice, and of course it has that great die shield, super hard coating. It's brushed and polished. It has sapphire with AR coating. Just this thing has it all. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay, so looking at this up close, getting it in hand, I mean, it's so light. That's the thing. I mean, not light to where it feels cheap. I mean, it still feels substantial in your hand, but it's definitely, you know, it's one of those watches that it doesn't give you, it doesn't weigh your wrist down in any way. It has enough wrist presence to where you know it's going to be there. I don't think this is going to be something you're going to forget is on your wrist. One, probably because you're going to be too busy staring at that gorgeous dial. And two, I just think that the way that it's built and constructed, it doesn't feel quite that light. It just, it definitely feels lighter than you think it's going to weigh when you look at it and pick it up. You know, so basically your brain is going to be thinking, oh, I'm going to pick up, you know, a regular stainless steel watch. You're going to go, oh, okay, all right. What is this thing made out of, wood? But of course it's not made out of wood. It's made out of titanium, and it's finished just to an outstanding level, guys. Look at that. And I've had this for a couple months now. And look at the condition that it's in. That coating really stands up, I gotta say. Great formula on Seiko's part as far as that goes. Now, it does have that nice polished fixed bezel there, and then this great non-screw down crown. It also has the Seiko 6R15D, which is of course hacking and hand windable. It has that 3 hertz movement, which is going to be 6 ticks per second, which is still nice and smooth. Not quite as smooth as a 4 hertz movement, barely off, but you know, the trade-off is you're going to have a 50-hour power reserve. Pretty nice. The case back is see-through, and it's actually a sapphire case back. Again, Seiko really letting you know this is a $1,000 watch. It's showing the movement there. Of course, this isn't a Swiss timepiece, so there's not going to be tons of decoration on there, but it's definitely still, you know, it shows you the heart of the beast, and it does give you some nice feeling of kind of a personal connection to it. And you know, it's nice to know that there's something beating away, ticking away. You know, there's so much going on the inside of this piece, and it's not just about the aesthetic on the outside, although the aesthetic on the outside is really quite gorgeous. So let's talk about this dial. Now, it does have applied indices, as you can see, really nice high polish. You know, that white snowflake style dial, which I would probably liken closer to Japanese washi paper. I think it actually has more of that texture, that paper finish there. I think it looks really good. A couple of other YouTubers are calling it like a frosted dial, which I think it also resembles as well. You know, kind of that frosting as it's freezing right on your window as you look outside. Definitely could be very close to something like that. But my first thought was the Japanese washi paper. There's actually a finish also on the inside of the trim of certain model infinities. So it's definitely something that's nice. It ties into the culture of Seiko. You know, this isn't just something that was produced to compete with the European market. This is something that is personal to Seiko, and it's Japanese, and it's just an outstanding Japanese watch. You know, it's not Seiko's version of a Swiss watch. It is Seiko, and it's Japanese, and it does it well. Look at the way the light just hits it. Even the applied Seiko logo. Got Presage automatic there at the bottom. Nice balanced dial. Got the chapter ring there. As you can see, a lot of micro hash marks. Sure, it's not a chronograph, but I guess if you maybe are doing a time hack, you could definitely break things down past a second. Looks like probably 1/5 of a second increments there. So just, I mean, look at it. I probably don't have to say too much besides that. I mean, just look at this thing. It's just absolutely beautiful. All right, now getting on to some of the other attributes, it does have nice polished hands, and then it has that blue coated seconds hand. Some people get confused. They want to say this might be, they believe it's heat treated. No, it's not heat treated. Look at that. Heat treated hands are flat pieces of metal that are blue, consistent one color throughout. This is not. It's not a bad application, but clearly it's coated with something that's blue. I highly doubt that Seiko sourced a rounded piece of metal, and these are contoured seconds hands, and they happen to look rounded off, and that are heat treated blue. I'm sure it's just a flat piece of metal with a glob of, you know, blued coloring on top of it, which gives it more of a 3D look. And it does pop pretty nice still. Not quite as nice as a heat treated blued hand would pop, but very nice. I'd say top of the range as far as coated blue goes. Still has that nice kind of translucent coloring to it, and texture and tone. So still nicely done. I don't think Seiko actually does any heat treat as far as blue in the Presage line. I know they definitely do in their Grand Seiko watches. I'm not sure if they do it in any other ranges below that, but I would be very surprised if they did, at least in anything today. I know that they've streamlined a lot of their lines. They had some really high-end stuff underneath Grand Seiko before, you know, with higher beat movements as well, but those have long since been discontinued, so I wouldn't expect to see something like a heat treated blued seconds hand in anything apart from a Grand Seiko. The lug width is really nice. It's actually 20 millimeters, so although I don't think I'll ever take this off of this strap, it's a great size. So if I really wanted to go crazy one day and put this on a gray NATO, I could, or a navy blue, put it on a leather strap. I could do that. I won't, but I could. So it's nice to have the option. Now, of course, everything's solid links, solid end links, and then it has these pin and collar system connectors, not too bad. The really nice angular finishing there on the center links helps make it stand out, apart from a regular typical 3-link. And then, of course, underneath you can see that it's constructed more closely to something like an H-link, except that they're bonded. So it's essentially this, and then the one tongue down is one link, one H, and then the tongue down connected is another link. And something that nobody really mentions is that there is, you can see that basically these are all connected. They're all bonded together, right? Apart from the links, the pins that hold them together, they're actually bonded together, and then everything's shaved off, but you can see the difference in material. So it's probably steel holding them together, in the pins inside, and then you know, the links themselves are titanium, so that's why you can notice the difference in the shade there. Otherwise they would perfectly match. They definitely don't. So I don't think it looks ugly or anything like that, but I thought it was worth the mention because nobody's really mentioned it. It actually gives a nice little visual play as the light hits it, so you might take that as something like almost thinking of it as like a display case back. It's kind of showing the engineering versus being something that's you know, a shortcoming. Really nice clasp here, contoured. It's always great to see, so that when it's on your wrist, it's actually gonna wear nice and smooth. So you can see underneath there, no rough edges or anything like that, nothing sharp, which is really great. All right, let's go ahead and get this on the wrist. All right, on the wrist, you can see this thing wears just beautifully. Something can be worn every day. You could wear it in a more dressy setting, more casual. Just gorgeous. Up close, even in a real up close wristy, doesn't look too huge on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Dial looks absolutely gorgeous from up close. From afar, it definitely has a nice cool glow to it, and I mean temperature wise, kind of the tone spectrum, it's not a warm feeling dial, it definitely is a cooler feeling dial. From afar, wears really nicely, drapes nice, beautiful finishing there. I mean, the main difference you're gonna see in between a Seiko and a Grand Seiko is gonna be the fit. The finishing can get quite close, I gotta say. From what I've seen, the finishing is just outstanding. It's tough to think about something looking better finished than that. Look at that. That is just such a sharp transition. It's just the fit. Not quitely as tightly fit, and just a hair underneath as far as the finish goes, but very close and really nipping at the Big Brother Grand Seikos. But as far as the finish goes, I mean, man, it's almost there. The fit could be tighter, you know, could fit a little bit better, pieces fitting together and whatnot, the connectors used, but the finishing is just outstanding. Got the great little S-signed crown, so nothing controversial there. Definitely a great look. Ooh, let me line that up for you. Really nice. Now this doesn't have any loom on it. But I think I will do some low light transition for you. Okay guys, let's hit the lights. Alright. See some low light transition here. Just look at how the texture comes out on that dial. It almost looks like the moon. So this dial wears a lot of faces. Textured washi paper, snowflakes, frost, and now even has a bit of a moon dial. Just gorgeous. Look at the finishing. Pay attention to those bevels. Look at that. See how bright that and sharp that still is on the lug? See the light transitions on it? It just wraps right around that finely finished case. So nice. Really well done, Seiko, on that one. Spot on. Okay guys, so closing thoughts. On the wrist, this thing wears perfectly. It's compact but with plenty of wrist presence, even in titanium. So that's just a design feature. I mean, Seikos not only look good, they wear well, which is just something that's outstanding, regardless of their size, right? SKXs are hugely popular, and a lot of the times they're some of the biggest watches people will have in their collection if they have really small wrists, just because of how well, you know, that 42 millimeter watch wears, or the 44 millimeter turtle wears. Often, again, that's something that's going to be the larger, another example, the tuna, right? It's just, these are some of the biggest watches people will have in their collection, but the way Seiko the way they execute these watches and design them, they still wear extremely well. So that's something to keep in mind when you're thinking to yourself, this should be a 37 or 38 millimeter watch. Give it a chance, because this is a Seiko watch. It's designed to be worn on your wrist, and it's going to wear well. So keep that in mind, guys. Now, the textured dial, of course, adds a wonderful touch of visual interest. I mean, it's a very sparse design, but then just that dial just punches it up a couple of levels and just makes it such a special piece. This is something that non-watch aficionados and watch aficionados alike will enjoy and be impressed by. So you have this on your wrist, people will be like, what is that? And then people who know what it is, they're going to be like, hey, let me see that. Let me get a closer look. Can I feel it on my wrist? Whether you want to let somebody grab your $1,000 watch and try it on, that's up to you. But it definitely is an interesting feeling when you expect it, the weight versus when you pick it up. Now, as far as model variants go, they actually do have a black dial model available, and the black dial is a matte black. So it's not going to have the same texture, but I think that does make it stand out, because there are similar models in the Presage line, but will have more of a radial black sunburst effect. So it's nice to also have that matte black, very clean option as well. Now, as far as comparables go, I mean, this is really right smack in between Grand Seiko and the SARB line, as far as what you would think of for build quality and finishing. Bottom line, you know, this is in the higher end in finishing and design. It has Seiko's in-house, you know, titanium coating technology, perfect proportions. It has a very sleek silhouette. And it really just exudes a sense of luxury that's rarely found in the $2,500 range. And then definitely not in titanium or any type of special metal. So the fact that it's under $2,500 and it has this level of finishing, in-house, everything, everywhere, you know, even down to the coating on the titanium, it just speaks volumes to really the value that Seiko offers. Yes, guys, I'm saying it, this is a great bang per buck watch, even at $1,000. So hopefully that speaks volumes to you guys about the type of watch this is. To me, this is definitely in that affordable, attainable grail category. This could be that one watch that you can celebrate something with. It could be, it's just a really special piece. So I think it's be a great addition into really any collection, and it has a story, it has lineage, it has it all. I think it's just a really cool piece. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like the video, please do hit like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you want more content just like this, also make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get updates whenever I drop new videos. All right, thanks guys. Bye.